Hello everybody, it's Friday and I am here with our happy hour of stamping. I'm excited today about sharing with you this fun bundle. It is the Penguin Place, and there is also the stamp set and this great coordinating punch to go along with it. One of the other items I'm going to be using today is this really fun paper. This is our Playful Playmates. It is one of our celebration papers. So I have cut it down so that it was easier for me to show it to you. It is actually 12 by 12 paper. So there's 6 different designs, and there are 6 different two-sided designs, I should say. So you get 2 each of the designs, and there's 12 sheets. So it's pretty cool. Celebration is something that's going on right now with Stampin' Up, and this is the first year we've had it twice a year, so I'm really excited about that. We had it in January and February, and now we are back again with it this month and next month. Now, if you haven't been with Stampin' Up during Celebration, it is a time of year where Stampin' Up rewards you for your purchase. So for every $50 purchase that you make during August and September, before tax and shipping, you're going to get to choose a free product. Now, if you happen to spend $100, there's a couple items that you can also get with a $100 value. But it's a great time as a customer. If you're stocking up or just getting ready for the holidays with our new mini catalog, it's great that you're able to earn some free products. So over the next week or so, I'm going to be sharing, actually the next couple weeks, I'm going to be sharing different celebration products so that you can get more of an idea of what you can use it for. So it's really, really fun, and I think you're going to really like it. Okay, let me just make sure I've got you set. I started talking right away. I usually don't do that, so let me make sure I've got you streaming on here so that I know everyone can be watching it. So yeah, I am excited about this. Okay, there we are. Yay. All right, if you come on, just go ahead and leave a comment for me just so I know that you're out there and you're watching. I have 2 fun cards that I'm going to be sharing with you today. Both of them are made with that Penguin Place stamp set and the punch that coordinates with it. So if you happen to attend my class this week, my creative card class, I did 3 different fun folds, and one of them is one of the cards I'm actually going to be sharing with you today. I thought I might as well share with all of you because not everybody could attend class. And so here I'm sharing this fun one with you. So this card, it opens up like this, and then this opens up like that. So it's a kind of a fun fold. It's an easy fun fold, and I'm going to step you through the process of creating it. So I hope you really enjoy this card today. Hi, Kathy. Oh, I'm so glad you got the set. Yeah, I love it. I've had so much fun with it. And the paper. So I've been collecting the paper with purchases. I just love the paper. And on the next card that I share with you, you'll see why I want to have so much of that paper. All right, so our first piece here is our Just Jade. It is one of our in colors that will be here through the end of April. So I think it's May 3rd or 4th that we get some new in colors. This is our regular card base, and it is 5.5 by 8.5 and scored at 4 1/4. Now I have a piece of designer series paper here. This one is 4 by 5 1/4. And we're going to adhere that down to the front. Now I'm using some of our multi-purpose glue, and I'm just going around the edge. I want to leave the center part without adhesive on it, and I'll show you why in just a second. Okay, so I have that adhered down there good. I'm going to move these aside for just a moment because we are going to die cut that. So we need to die cut that circle that is in the front of our card. So I am using our regular die cut machine here, the full size. And I'm going to lay my whole card on here. Now you want to make sure your card, see if I scooch it over a little, you can see a little bit better. Okay, so you want your whole card to be on the platform. You don't want it hanging off. I'm going to take one of my layering circle dies and set it in the center there. It is up a little bit from the bottom, so it's more towards the top. I'm going to put my other plexi on there and run that through. I'll move this back here. All right, let me move my die cut machine off to the side. We're going to use that on the next card, but at least I don't need it in front of me right now. All right, so now I've popped out my circle, and you have these 2 extra pieces. I have a lot of these, so I've got to figure out a card or scrapbook page or something to do with them. Put that away. All right, so here's my card front, and now I want to do my next layer, which is with some of our fresh freesia paper. And this one I'm going to have open on the left. This card is 8 inches by 5 1/4, and it's scored at 4. And then I have a piece of designer series paper that's 3 3/4 by 5. Sorry, I took a quick drink there. All right, this one I'm going to go ahead and adhere down, and it doesn't matter where you put the adhesive. You can cover the whole piece with it. And I'm going to put this right on top. One of the things I love about this designer series paper is that you'll notice that one side of the paper is like a print, something like that, that you could use for a lot of different things. We have polka dots, we have those, but the other side has all these cute little characters that you can use. These are some of the smaller ones here, which make for good backgrounds. But let's see. Hi, Carol. I'm so glad you could join me today. This one I think is really cute. It has trees, and it's the soft colors. I think it'd be great for a Christmas card. And then here's more of those cute little characters. We have this misty moonlight stripe that we're using on this card. And then here's some more fun ones. So these ones you wouldn't be able to punch out, but you would be able to cut them out. And then this sheet right here has this penguin right here. That's one of the ones we're using on both the cards, and that is the one that coordinates with the punch. But we're also using the bear and the fox from this page. I love this stripe too. I just think that the colors in this paper is going to be great to use throughout the year. So these are a couple more prints already that I showed you, but there's lots of fun characters that you're going to be able to play with. All right, so we have our card. I'm back to my card. Sorry, I kind of went off on a tangent. All right, here is our base card. We're going to open it up. This is a layer inside. So I'm going to add some adhesive on the back. And again, now it's okay. We can kind of go all over it. We don't have to stick to the edges. And then I'm going to center that in here, making sure that the opening is this way. So that is how our card will open like that. Okay? All right, let's get to doing a little bit of stamping now. This piece here is 1 by 4, and then I have this really thin one. It's actually like 3/8 of an inch. 3/8 or 1/4 of an inch. I'll have to look that up. By 4 inches. And I am using one of the stamps. It says "To the coolest friend ever." And I'm stamping with our Misty Moonlight ink. Misty Moonlight is another one that will be going away this year. I shouldn't say this year, next year in 2022. But it's a fun color. I really like that color. All right, let's take a little bit of that adhesive and or glue here, as I'm using glue today. I'm gonna flip this over and lay that down just like that. All right. Well, it seems to me that I left my twine downstairs with my things from my class. So I'm just going to go ahead and pull up some of our white crinkle seam binding. I used baker's twine on my original one, but this is going to work just fine. I'm actually using it on the next card, so it's probably nice that I use it on both. That way if you want to make them, you're using the same ribbon on both. All right. Now, as I'm making these cards and you're saying that, oh, those would be really fun to make, anyone that places an order of $25 or more between now and Monday, I'm going to send you card kits for both of these cards I'm making. And I will post the host code afterwards, after I'm done. So it'll be in there so that you will be able to use that host code, and then you can get both of these cards. All right, so I added a few dimensionals on the back there. One thing I really like about this design is I'm using it with the penguins, but you could very easily switch it out and use it with one of your flower stamp sets, or anything, any stamp set you have. What I'd like to share with you are some different fun designs that, or card designs that you can use over and over again with your stamp set you already have, not just with the ones I share. All right, so we're going to use that punch now. And when I open up my punch, I can slide my paper through this top part right here. So sliding it in like that. Now our penguin is upside down when I'm holding it here, and the head is right here. Now if you notice on this paper, let me grab it again for you to show you. Get the right one. So we have the bear, the fox, and the penguin, and they're all kind of close together. So if I was to slide this up in here, I'm going to mess up the fox, the bear, and even the stuff on that side, and we don't want that to happen. So I went through and I cut out a whole bunch of our penguins and our bears. And now I can slide this up inside here. And my head's not in the can. I'm going to punch that out. I can just peel off that Post-it note. And then we are set to go. So here we have our cute penguin. I'm going to need that punch in a little bit. And then we have our polar bear. So I am going to go ahead and just freehand cut this bear out. He's pretty easy. There's no, really hard areas to cut. It's a pretty straight line, just curving around. He does have these cute little ears, and then a little bit of hair up here on the top of his head. A little tuft there. So I am just going to keep on going. Follow around. And there we go. So we have our bear now, and we have our little penguin. So let's take two of our dimensionals. I'm going to put them all the way down here at the bottom. Just like that. Pull these off. And then I'm going to put my penguin right down here in the corner. Now you might be able to, let's see. Yeah, I think I can pull in one of my little mini dimensionals here. I'm going to peel off the top. So now it is sticky on both sides, and I'm holding it with this, and then I can take it and stick it right behind there. Give it a little press, and there we go. So now our penguin is on there. All right, next we need to add our bear. So again, I'm just going to add some dimensionals on the back here. And then I am going to slide him in here, and I want him to be kind of next to my penguin, kind of get an eye, and that looks good. So I'm going to open this up and make sure that I have him level on there. Next, I'm going to take another stripe piece here. Again, this is 1 by 4 inches. And just put that right under him right there. All right. Now I have my inside piece here, and this says on here, it said to the coolest friend ever, and it's going to be a birthday card. So I'm going to take some of my Just Jade ink, and let me see here. I'm missing one piece, so I'm trying to grab it out of my other kit here. Okay, so my Just Jade ink, and we have a little bit of sparkle here. I have my balloon, and I also have some strings. So first I'm going to start with the balloon. I'm going to ink that up. I'm going to stamp it off, and then I'm going to stamp it once and then twice. I wanted a softer look inside. I didn't want it to be really dark. I just wanted a, kind of like balloons are. You know when you get balloons and they're soft and kind of shimmery type thing. So I wanted that. Let's take some of our fresh Freesia ink here, and I'm going to add a few sparkles on the inside like that. Hi Rhonda, thanks for joining. All right, and the last thing I need, I gotta reach over here, is a little bit of black ink to do the ribbon or the string on my balloons. And hopefully, looking the way I'm looking down at this, I'm gonna get it somewhat straight. Okay, I think that's pretty darn good. So let's add some adhesive on the back, or my multi-purpose glues I'm kind of stuck on today. And I'm going to open up my card and put that right down here in the middle. There we go. All right, the last thing we have is our happy birthday. And I'm going to use our banner Pick-a-Punch. If you don't have this, you could do it just freehand, or you could leave it straight. Either way is going to be fine. So I'm putting it in and holding it to make sure that is right there in the center. And then I'm going to do it again with my white piece. There we go. Okay, so let me get to my words. Here we go. My words are going to be stamped in Misty Moonlight. And I'm going to do them right here on the end. Okay. And then I'm going to do a few of those sparkles in there too. Sparkles, snowflakes, whatever you would like them to be. You can see that it's been stamped on here. I think what happened is I had Versamark on the table, on one table too, and I might have stamped it in Versamark and then stamped it on there. But that's okay, we're good. All right, now I need to figure out where this needs to go in here. And I did cut it longer so that we could use that punch. So I'm gonna trim it off a little bit, about a ½ inch, lay it down in there, and then I'm gonna move this around to make sure that I can see that happy birthday. So it looks about right. I like that. Add a little bit of glue on there. Going to press that down, and I'm trimming off the end, and then I'm going to grab 2 dimensionals. Now whenever you're doing cards, you can choose to use lots of dimensionals or don't use dimensionals at all. Sometimes if you're mailing, you prefer not to really add as many dimensionals, and that's okay. There we go. But as I do, you know, use dimensionals, don't use dimensionals. It's kind of, that's totally up to you. I like things to be popped and layered and that stuff. So, all right, so here is our first card. It's gonna open up like that. There you go. All ready for a fun birthday party for the coolest friend ever. So I hope you like that one. All right, let me pull out the next one. This one here is such a fun fold, and what I'm sharing with you today, you'll notice I'm using a lot of designer series paper, and I love designer series paper. And so I try to use it as much as I can. So on this card, I cut out these different little characters here, and then it opens up like this. And I have, these are some other stamps that are included. which are really kind of fun. So this is the card we're going to make this time. All right. I'm going to go ahead and put our base part together first, and then we'll do the tag and the ribbons and all of that kind of stuff. All right, so our piece of paper here is, I'm going to turn it this way, 4 inches by 12 inches. And then I'm going to bring this on here. We're going to score it at 1 1/4, 4 1/4, and 9 1/2. So 1 1/4, 4 1/4, and 9 1/2. 3 score lines. The bottom can fold up, this will fold over, and then that is going to go that way, okay? So let's use our bone folder. There we go. So we have that all set now. I just found my other pieces I was missing from my last card, but luckily I had extras. All right, we're going to go to the back. I'm going to add some multi-purpose glue here. Let's get this going. Come on. I used it a lot yesterday, so I'm hoping I have some more in here. If not, I may have to go grab another. Whoop, there we go. I have more of it. I probably should have kept it close by. All right, so let's flip that over. Now this base right here is Misty Moonlight, and it's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. This one's so cute how it worked out with that penguin right there. All right, so I'm going to set that aside, and I am going to bring in my stitched rectangle here. It's scalloped, and that comes from our Stitch So Sweetly dies. It's one of my favorite set of dies, and I did that ahead of time, so we don't need to do that right now. Let's see here. I need to grab and clean. Looking for where my cleaner went. Okay, it was right here. Here it is. I'm just going to take and clean my stamp off because I'm switching colors on this one. We are going to use a little Misty Moonlight and add some little snowflakes on here. That's probably good. All right. And then I used this fun die right here. It's the message die. What's neat about it, there is a stamp set that coordinates, and it has words, sentiments that go in all of them. But I use it a lot when I'm looking for a different shape of a label or something. So I'm using this one right down here at the bottom. And I die cut that. And I cut it in half already. I probably should have waited to cut it in half, but we'll see. Hopefully the sentiment I'm going to put on here is going to fit. Let me see. I don't have to put my head right into it. Ooh, it's just going to fit. Hopefully it's straight. Perfect. Be cool, be chill, be merry. I think that's a fun little saying. So I will pop that up with some of our mini dimensionals. Now some of you may not know that we have black dimensionals, which are great, especially with Halloween around the corner. And in the black dimensional set, you're going to get both the mini and the regular size, which is pretty cool. I really like that you get both those sizes. All right, so here we have our words, and now we're going to bring in some Versamark and our Season's Greeting stamp there. So the original one I made, this one, I did do it as a birthday, but I'm going to do this one as a Christmas one because it has both. It has Season's Greetings and it has the Happy Birthday. Probably could have done this ahead of time, you know, before I put the stamps and all that on it, but I think it'll work out okay. There we go. Perfect. All right, I'm going to turn the heat tool on really quick. it's not much to heat up, so it should go very quickly. There we go. All right, so we have that part. This one has a few pieces, but it definitely is a fun one to put together. All right, I went ahead and started. I cut out my fox, and you'll notice the ears are cut off, but that's okay because I am now going to cut off a head. We're doing a little surgery, or a little paper piecing, I should say, not piercing, paper piecing with these cute little animals here. Cute little forest animals. And once we get them all put together, we'll add them to the card. All right, so let's put a dimensional in there. And we're gonna pop his head up just like that. I think that just adds a little bit to it. Now I did cut out already one of the polar bears. And now I'm going to cut out his scarf. Now you might find one of the polar bears that's kind of by the edge that has his leg cut off or something like that, where you can still punch out or cut out his scarf. I just took another whole one because I had a lot of ones left over from my class. Let's see, I might add 2 of these little ones in here. Might fit just a little. Actually, I got 3 there. Okay. I really like these popped up and the dimension of having more layers. Okay, so there's 2 pieces, and now we're back to our cute little penguin here. I'm going to kind of cut up like that. I've got a trick to use this part of the fox. I'm going to show that to you in just a minute. Now, this is the actual penguin here, and this is the inside part of the penguin, like that. So I'm going to take this and put it in here, and there is going to be a little bit of the black edge around it. Trying to get that centered on there as close as I can. Now you could cut this out freehand, but I'm just taking it as it is. Now I need a post-it note to do this other one because I don't have as much on the edge for him. So again, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to slide this up in here. Whoops. All right, let's see if we can get them to go in there. There we go. The little post-it note seems to be getting stuck a little bit, but I think we just about got him up there. All right, now down here at the very bottom, you see the little feet. So I'm going to take and punch out a foot out of that little fox. That way it has the same, coloring and that as the paper. Not that it's necessary, but I really like that it's the same. I like how you have the same color that's actually in there. So I'm going to add some dimensionals on the back here. Put that guy down like that. And then I need 2 of those little mini dots again. So I'm going to put 1 on each side where his feet are going to go. There we go. And then put these cute little feet down. There we go. All right. Now, the one thing I'm missing here, let me find a piece of scrap here that I can use. Maybe we can use that scrap. Let's see if it's going to fit. All right. I am looking for, here it is. Yay. I was looking for my little scarf. Let's see if there's enough on there. If it's not, I've got another piece. All right. Yep, so I stamped his little scarf, and it is the Fresh Freesia on Fresh Freesia paper. And I am going to trim this out. Like that. And then on the end, I'm just kind of do some little snips in here so that it's like the little scarf, you know, when it has the little tassels at the end. Give it a little bit of movement there. There we go. It's pretty tiny, but I think it just adds a little bit to our cute little penguin. There we go. All right, now let's put this together. I'm going to start out with the polar bear, and he's going to be the center of our piece right here. So I'm going to put him down right there. So he's off from where it says Season's Greetings. Maybe I'll even slide him down a little bit with using that glue. I have a little bit of movement. Maybe add a little dab up here for his head. And then I'm going to pull this off. We don't need that extra layer of Post-it note there. And ink up my penguin. Got him down. And then last we have our little fox. I'm only going to hit that end right there. I'm not going to do the whole part because, as you can see here, he's kind of hanging off the edge. All right. We'll slide him in there. Just like that. Isn't that cute? I really like that a lot. All right, so that's one piece, and now we have to do the inside of the card. I'm going to pull this aside here. All right, so the first piece we're going to do, and these pieces all come in the stamp sets, which is awesome. You know, when everything comes in one stamp set, you can just keep playing and playing and playing. I love that. All right, so we are going to give this a little slope, and then we're going to add a couple trees. So the little slope, it's actually a long slope. You can do it on the whole width of like a 5.5-inch card. The long slope is with Misty Moonlight. So I did it full strength. You could also do it stamping off and getting it a little bit lighter if you want. And now I'm going to do some trees, and the trees are in Just Jade. So I'm going to do one and then again like that. So I'm going to do one and then again, and I'm not re-inking it because I want that different shade. I want a little light and a little dark in there. All right, we're going to use that sparkle again, but this time we do need it in the Fresh Freesia, so I need to go ahead and clean this off again. And let's bring that over here. So I'm just going to add some different little sparkles kind of going up, and maybe I'll do a little on the ground there because they do fall on the ground and we definitely want to see them. Okay, now let's go ahead and adhere that to our Fresh Freesia here. Now this piece here is going to be 3 3/4 by 5. And the white one here is going to be 3.5 by 4 3/4. I know that's a lot of measurements, but it will be posted. I mean, if you rewatch the video, you'll have the dimensions that I'm using. You can stop it and cut and stop and go type of thing. I actually think I've done this fold in on my blog, so I will try and look back through, and I will find a link to the directions so you can see those too. All right, so we are going to open up our card and we're going to stick this right in the center here. Now it's probably a sunny day where you are now, and so we're going to add a little sparkle because when it's a sunny day and it's snowing, you always get some sparkles. And maybe one more over here. There we go. So we have a little bling inside, and we have this part, but the last thing we need to do is something about this little ribbon here. So I'm going to bring in some of my Stampin' Blends. These two are Just Jade and Fresh Freesia, and we're going to do a little coloring of our ribbon. So I'm going to take, let's see, if I have extra, that's okay because I know I'll use it. And we're going to do a little coloring. When I'm coloring ribbon, I always start out with a lighter color. And on the Stampin' Blends, there is a brush tip and a more of a ballpoint tip. So I'm going to use that brush tip. And I'm going to start with the lighter and see if I like the color. And if I want more color, then I'll pull in the darker. Which, there's the light, and let me show you the dark. I think I'm going to use the dark. Yeah, so it's not a big difference, but I think it's enough that I want that darker one. Some of the dark ones are just way too dark, but I think this one is going to be great. So all I'm doing is along the side of the Stampin' Blend. I'm not doing this. I'm making sure I use the side edge to try and keep that point on my Stampin' Blend as much as I can. I don't want to mess up my marker by doing this, but it's a great way that you can get colors of ribbon that you may not have, or a different style of ribbon. Let's just say, like this is a narrow ribbon. I wanted it to be a little bit thinner, and I like that it was solid. So we have a Fresh Freesia ribbon, but it's sheer in the middle, and I liked that this was solid, so that's why I am doing that. All right, so there's one. And now let's try our Just Jade and see if we want to go with the lighter or the darker. Again, I'm using the brush tip. Okay, so there is the light. And here is the dark. Actually, I can do it here. I think I'll go with the dark. Let's go with both darks. All right, so again, just using the side of my marker, going all the way. And if I have a little extra, I probably could have measured, so I did more of the exact size, but you can always use bits of ribbon, adding bows on things. And since I'm using so much of this Playful Playmates designer series paper, I'll have extra ribbon to go with it. Now you can also use, if you don't have the Stampin' Blends, you can use the Stampin' Right markers. You can also use your ink refills. Put it in a Ziploc bag with a little bit of alcohol and let it sit, or kind of rub it together, and you can get it colored that way. One other way you can do it is if you take an image, like more of a solid image, let's say like the balloon, you could take the balloon and stamp it in ink and then stamp it on your ribbon, and that's another way to color your ribbon. So there's all kinds of ways that you can do your ribbon. All right. Let's get our card back here now. I'm going to take my 2 pieces of ribbon and tie them around my flap. I want to make sure that my ribbon on the back is also flat. I think I'm going to flip it over. It'll be easier that way. And move this up. I want to make sure, I don't think it's in the picture, so let me scoot that up a little more. There we go. All right. I'm going to take my ribbon like that, and then I'm going to cut off some of that there, and I'm going to tie a knot. I'm going to hold my finger in the middle there so I keep it pretty taut on there. Okay. Then I'm going to take a piece of our Misty Moonlight Baker's Twine, and I'm going to slide that under there. Now this twine, it's white and Misty Moonlight, and then there's some silver in it. It comes from a pack of, or a set of ribbon, and it's called Flowers for Every Season. And it has a cute Just Jade plaid, or check, I should say, like gingham. And then it has a basic white, and it also has this twine in it, so it's kind of nice. So we are going to just take and do our ribbon back and forth. And I want to end it so it has the same amount of loops on both sides. There we go. And it also has ends on both sides. And I'm going to take this right on top. And I am slipping through my baker's twine. This one you could use an extra hand, but most of us stamp a lot or do our projects by ourselves, so we always kind of come up with ideas of how to do this. All right, so I pulled it tight, and now I'm doing a bow. And I really want it to be like a fluffy, fun little bow. Now we can trim off our ends. I think I'm gonna tighten up that bow just a little bit there. All right, trim these ends. Get all my scraps away. I think I made this bow a little bit bigger than the last one, but I think it's still gonna be just fine. Okay, so it comes down there. We can kind of play with this, so we pop these out. It's kind of like reminds me of pom-poms, like for cheerleaders, how they have the big, full, fluffy pom-poms. There we go. All right, and now we just need to add this piece. So we're gonna have him come about right here on the side. So I'm just eyeballing, so I know it's right here at this green one. So I'm gonna go ahead and put a dimensional, and then let's add a few more. There we go. And then I'm going to take off a little piece here. Use up those edges. Whoops, that might be a little too wide. There we go. All right, let's pull the paper off. You want to make sure, the reason I'm doing it on the actual card versus on the back of here is I want to make sure I don't close this up. And if I was to put them on the back, my luck is I would get it too low and then I would end up closing my card up. So now I can just hold my little bow over there and press that down. All right, so here is our card. Be cool, be chill, be merry, season's greetings. And then we have our cute little slope with trees. And then here is our other card right here. So those are two fun cards. This one here, again, they're pretty similar. I think the bow is a little bit, I didn't use as many loops on this, but basically the same. This one's a birthday one, and this one is a season's greetings or holiday one. So they're both a lot of fun. I hope you guys liked the cards that I shared with you today. I will be putting a host code in there, and if you would like to get the kits, or you would like to get these two cards, if you place an order between now and Monday for $25 or more, I'm going to go ahead and send you these card kits, which are awesome. And I'm trying to think of what I was going to share with you next week. Next week, I think I'm going to be using the hand-pinned stamp set with the beautifully pinned designer series paper. So I'm going to bring you something different. It's not going to be a fun fold, but it'll be a fun Friday of stamping. Thank you guys so much for joining me, and I hope you like the projects. Bye-bye.